Hi everyone, thanks for tuning in. I hope you all have been doing well since our last check-in. Today we're going to look at our October recap. So with that, I will turn it over to Sam.
Yep, thank you, Hunter. So this month, it was definitely an interesting month for the market, the world, just generally as a whole. And so the main things we just went over were job report came out, which was good to see. 336,000 new payroll jobs. I'm sure you guys definitely looked at that at least a little bit. New jobs, I mean, this is really just indicating that employers are confident in investing in their employees going forward. Typically, you see with what we just went over with the club is our interpretation of when a recession's coming, companies are tightening up, and now they're adding a lot of new jobs, so that potentially could be a good sign. We also talked about the war in Israel that's going on right now, which is definitely something we just wanted to, touch on because it's something kids are hearing a lot in the news about. And so the main thing we went over is how oil prices did jump by about $5 a barrel then, and kind of just went over, what those untold economic consequences could be. Because although inherently doesn't really involve the United States economy, just more uncertainty in the market is generally not a good thing. So we went over that's sort of just those untold consequences. People get concerned. Like if something is to potentially happen down the road, that could escalate this conflict on a more broader scale. That would obviously then have economic ramifications. Even though that is a small percentage chance, that still does exist. So make sure the club's aware of that. Also went over the Fed report, which they held rates second straight hold, and that was really interesting. A lot of companies are having good corporate earnings, which has been really good to see. Amazon, one of our largest holdings, had a good earnings. Google did as well. Another 150,000 new jobs in another labor report, which is just really good to see. The S&P's been up about 6%, which the market's fluctuated a lot less. It was a good month for our club as well. We beat the S&P about a point and a half, which was really good to see. Overall, it's just sort of showing there's a lower probability of a Fed increase going forward, which is something the club is definitely really excited about because we've been talking about for a while potentially seeing more Fed increases, and now more economists than not are saying that rates will likely hold constant, which means the club is very excited moving into 2024 in terms of what the Fed's going to do, what the economy is going to do. It's something we're moving to focus on. And so setting up the club in a sense where all the guys can understand what's going on moving forward, going into 2024, is something we're sort of pushing for. As that's where, economists, first time, this was really good to see. We went over. A lot of times these presentations, we kind of just talk about the potential of a recession, but actually good news throughout this month. Most economists, or first time in a while that more economists have said there won't be a recession, there will be. And so we just kind of went over the future outlook that a lot of people are having with that increase. And so setting up the club for 2024, understand there's still potential of a recession. We have those concerns with the war in Israel, but also making sure that it's all not negative. There are positives to be told about that, and it's all about balancing that when we create our portfolio. That'll move on to Josh.
Awesome. So this month, at the end of this month, right now, October 31st, we have about $65 in cash, and our portfolio values about $985,000. Over the month of October, we went down about 0.91%, or about 9,000. But on the positive side, we did beat the S&P 500 by about a percent and a quarter over the month, which is really positive. It shows that our portfolio is a little bit more safe on the downsides, even though sometimes, as we've seen in the past, it's not as doesn't go quite as high on the upsides in the market. We have a few of our biggest movers. Third quarter results were crucial in the performance for many stocks. One of our lower performing stocks was Chevron. They posted third quarter profit that missed Wall Street estimates. And then Carrier Global dropped in October due to supply shortages and a decline in container sales. Then Allstate, which is a P&C and commercial insurance company, in mid-October, their peer Progressive announced encouraging earnings results, giving confidence in the P&C industry and therefore in Allstate. They went up about 15%. And then Raytheon, or RTX, beat on earnings and announced an accelerated $10 billion share repurchase plan.
Thank you, Josh. So some of the things that we did in meetings this month that were a little bit unique. For one of our meetings, we did an overview of all the sectors that we have, basically explaining all the nuances that each sector has, just to really help the junior analysts kind of understand what we're looking at and the differences between the sectors. And then we also brought in a guest speaker, Mr. Eric Rankin. He's a financial advisor at Edward Jones here in Sioux Center, and it's really awesome to hear from him about his career path and some of his opinions on the market and some of the investments that he is making. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you next month.